I mean, I hear something I don't hear in those records.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You know what I mean, Mark?
You missed one. You skipped a turn, so you get actually 2 songs.
Oh, no.
You skipped a turn.
No, he just puts, I don't know, it's the heart. And
Yeah.
it's funny, some writers that sing their songs, I mean, you know, they just can't pull it off, but man, he owns it.
Yeah.
Well, another dear friend that I met here in the Muscle Shoals area was Stephen Dale Jones. He was a loan officer at Colonial Bank. You remember the round bank that used to be over here on Woodward Avenue? And we met I met Mark the very first day I was in Muscle Shoals. And I met Steve the second day I was in Muscle Shoals. There used to be it's funny how food's always involved. At a Quincy's, remember that Quincy's that was on Woodward Avenue? I remember being there for lunch my second day, and I was introduced to Stephen Dale Jones. And I also remember that day Rick Hall, he came in to Quincy's and he says, "Boys, I found a great song for Shenandoah called Mama Knows." And of course that was their first top 5 rather. And but anyway, Steve and I, just like Mark, we hit it off, and we would take our lunch breaks from the radio station and the bank. And I remember there was a Mexican restaurant, El Toro. I remember going there, and the Biscuit Village. I still miss that place.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, last night I drove by, what is it, a CVS there now? And I miss that big biscuit on that sign.
Yep.
But we would go in there like at 1 in the morning. But anyway, Steve and I, we would talk about, you know, getting songs recorded and just dreaming. And lo and behold, my biggest song, actually, I wrote with him. And after I moved to Nashville, Mel Tillis, he gave me my break in Nashville. He paid me $100 a week to write songs for his company. When I went to Kroger grocery store and worked at night, and people like Conway Twitty, Diamond Rio, Brooks and Dunn, Patty Loveless, Crystal Gale, they would come through my checkout line. And I had no idea at the time that Diamond Rio would be the ones that really kicked off in my career when they recorded this song that Steve and I wrote called One More Day. Last night I had a crazy dream. Wish was granted just for me, could be for anything. It was in tune almost.
Key of B.
Now I'll always remember that when I sing this song. And you know what? The fact that it was Peanutt makes it all right.
Hey, I'm doing a show.
For once, this is not going to be that sad of a song. Don't apologize. I wouldn't take anything for that. No big ego here. Now, well, I was going to say something, but you're recording.
I sent him a picture of y'all. He knew that y'all were doing this. He just called.
Play along, Mark. No, I loved it. Don't apologize. Last night I had a crazy dream. A wish was granted just for me, could be for anything. I didn't ask for money or a mansion in Malibu. I simply wished one more day with you. One more day, one more time. one more sunset, maybe I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still for one more day with you. The first thing I do is pray for time to crawl, that I'd unplug the telephone, I'd keep that TV off, I'd hold you every second, and I'd say a million I love yous. That's what I'd do. One more day with you. One more day. One more time. One more sunset. Maybe I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still one more day with you. One more day. One more time. One more sunset. Maybe I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still for one more day. Leave me wishing still for one more day. Leave me wishing still for one more day with you. Thank you. That's another one that I really believe if it weren't for Muscle Shoals, it wouldn't exist.
I want to tell you, that is one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite songs of all songs. I love that song.
Well,
And I love that woman. I mean, it makes me cry nearly. That song makes me cry nearly because it lets me know about my wife, that I love my wife. And being a songwriter, I appreciate other songs.
you don't know how.
God gave you that.
Oh, He did give it to
You
me.
didn't think that out of the wall.
No, I wasn't even. When I started
God
that,
gave you that song.
when I started that song, I wasn't even
I
trying
wanted
to
that
write.
out for people to hear.
You don't know how much that means coming from you because, you know, I've always just totally been just consumed with music, loving music, and I remember the first time I heard Emmylou Harris one of these days, it touched me. I heard it on my mom's car radio, and that line about carrying the Lord's book in my hand. I mean, I remember hearing that as a kid. What's your mama's name? I mean, all of those songs really touched me, inspired me, made me want to learn how to write story songs. So for you to say that really does mean a lot. Thank you, Peanutt. I remember a song that wasn't even a single or hit, but I remember at an early age hearing a Hank Jr. song. I just always loved this song. It was right before the mountain fall. Where he's going with you, I've already been, and I don't want to go back there again. What a writer.
I wrote that with him, and I had a song. I wrote another song for him, and so he came over to George's one day, and I was over there, and I sang it to him, and he said, I'm going to Montana. He said, I'm going on a hunting trip to Montana, and he said, I'll come back and record that song. And, well, he went to Montana and he fell off that mountain up there and it nearly killed him.
I mean, his brain was actually exposed.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that was with him had to literally, I know this is awful to hear.
But he never came back and recorded my song. And I can't even think now what it was. But Charlene she might remember what it was. What was the song that he was going to record?
Lord, I don't remember. I can't remember.
I'd sing it if I knew.
But his brain, literally, the guy that was with him, when he got to Hank, he literally had to push the brain back in. And it being so cold is the only reason he survived. And I forget, 20-something operations. But then he really found himself musically in Muscle Shoals too.
Amen.
With family tradition. I mean, Muscle Shoals changed his life. It's changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, we recorded. I recorded with him played guitar for him at the music meeting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I played rhythm on Where He's Gone With You, I've Already Been.
That's a great song.
And we did that at Music Mill. And I played on a lot of the George and Tammy sessions. Y'all might not know this, but at one time I worked with Michael Landon.
Wow.
Atlanta. And, what is it? Oh, I'm sorry. My daughter's telling me it's Mark's turn. Oh,
That's your daughter?
that's my
Because I thought, man, that's a brave lady.
You're soaking it in, brother. You go for however. You're the king, man.
No, but anyway, I don't even know now what I was talking about.
You're talking about Michael Landon.
Michael Landon. Yeah, I worked with Michael Landon, and he was funny. He giggled. He giggled on TV. And,
Now I'm going to think about that every time I see Little House on the Prairie.
and I sang baritone with him and played bass for him. And let me think now. The guy that wrote, since I had my stroke, I can't think a lot. I forget stuff. The guy that wrote, well, I even forgot the song. But anyway, I did baritone and played bass, and the other guy did high tenor. Charlene, who was the guy? Well, she's gone. And my mind's left me and my wife is left.
Sounds like a song time.
Well, I'm just not myself since my mind and my woman left.
They got Chase Webster. Chase Webster.
Okay.
What was the song he wrote, the big song? But anyway, he did tenor with Michael, but Michael would, they would book it. They couldn't just book him anywhere. They'd book him in a football stadium. And he'd pack out a football stadium, believe it or not. And, when he went off, he said, guys, I'm going to do a movie. And he was doing Bonanza all the time anyway. He said, I'm going to do a movie, and y'all can go home and take a vacation or something, and I'll get back with you. And he said, but when I got home, about 2 or 3 days later, they called me and said that Lauren Green was going on tour, and they wanted me to play bass for him. And so I got married to that thing that just left here. and that girl right there, I got married at the courthouse in Florence. And one of her aunts held that baby there in diapers while we got married. And I married her too. I told her the other day, I said, I married you that day too. She's a business lady. She owns Nabisco Deals, if y'all have ever been over there. That's her daughter. Anyway, I've been with them for 57 years. So, and I just told your age. Anyway, Mark, I'm sorry.
No,